Hey guys, it's Peter Powell. I'm here at Indian Creek, and it has been really slow. So, while the weather is really sunny, clear skies, we're going to let the water heat up a little bit. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a carp tutorial. I know I did one in my basement yesterday. It was kind of a winged one. So, sorry if you new carpers out there are trying to figure out what I'm talking about. This one's a little bit more planned out. So, we're gonna break. Excuse me. We're gonna break down flies, leaders, and rods, and a couple of tactics we can use to get your first carp. So, flies. You are looking for crawfish flies. Fish eat all the time, so they have to keep eating because they're always swimming against current, or they're fighting for food. So they always need their energy. So the bigger the fly, the bigger the fish, kind of thing. But with carp, they eat a lot of crawfish. So you got multiple different patterns for crawfish. They'll eat crawfish, and they eat mayflies, or excuse me. Oh, yes, they do. They do eat mayflies. That's in more of a summer kind of a hatch. Sorry, that's not really a main thing you'll be looking for though. They'll be eating nymphs, is what I was trying to say earlier. So, be that a mayfly nymph, a stonefly nymph, caddisfly, dragonfly, damselfly. They really hone in on those damselflies and dragonfly nymphs. So they really like those. Let's see what else. They eat clams and worms. So we got clam flies and worm flies. Kind of a weird little thing. They'll actually use their nose to dig into the ground, and once they find a clam, they'll actually suck it back in the back of their mouth here, and they got some kind of pressure back there, and they'll crush the shell, and then they'll eat the insides and spit the shell back out. So you'll see the little divots in the mud, and that's them where they're coming in, getting a shell or a worm or something, and spitting everything back out, and it creates kind of a crater. Creates a crater. What do you know? So I'll show you these flies really quick. So you can't beat an all-around good woolly bugger. Browns, olives, blacks, they kill. So if you only have one fly to choose from, I would do a woolly bugger because it covers just about everything: leeches, damselflies, crayfish, minnows, sculpin, all kinds of stuff. So then you got your crawfish. This is called a rough dub craw. So it's used squirrel tail and squirrel tail dubbing, and I put a little bit of sparkle flash in there in the summer. The carp seem to like that a lot. So that's what that one kind of looks like. You got backstabbers. Looks like a crawfish. In the water, this gets wet, and the soft tackle up front here creates kind of their fin, I guess, or their back flipper, if you will. And when you move it back, it hops. You're just hopping it. So that's what that one kind of looks like. It's a really cool one. I use that one quite a bit, actually. You got there's another good staple pattern I use. It's called a Barry's carp fly. I put a lot of soft tackle right here. This isn't necessarily how much you should probably put on. That's what I use. I use a lot of soft tackle there. So it's a Barry's carp fly. That's the back of it. It sits kind of weird in the water. It actually sits tail up. So the tail will be sticking up there. I don't know if you can really see that. Oh, there you go. So that's a really cool one. I told you about the damselfly nymphs and the dragonfly nymphs. This is just this is what that looks like. It has hackle all along the sides, and then a marabou tail, and you got some kind of thin skin or plastic wrap that covers the back. And so that's kind of a cool little one. I need to use that one more. I don't use it enough. I told you about the clams and the worms. This is a hybrid that I tie. It's kind of like a Jan's tickler, but I use a couple of different materials and different tactics. It'll, like the Jan's tickler, it'll sit. I'm trying to get this, like, there it goes. It'll sit tail up in the water, so it'll sit like that in the water. That's kind of a cool little feature because they'll see the tail and they'll, oh, what's that? And they'll go over and nosy over and nose it and think it's a clam or a worm or a crawfish. call them hybrids because you can, once this gets wet, it looks like just about anything. You can do an olive. I have an olive one that I tie that looks like a damselfly. So you can use hybrids anywhere you want. You can use lead-eye. I use bead chain on this. Like your ceiling fan chain, you can use that. So for leader setup, I make my own leaders. I am about 5'4", so I try to keep my leaders under or at 7 feet. You don't need a 9-foot leader most of the time. Most of the time the carp are going to be right up on the bank, and you're going to be able to look at them. They're about 2 feet away. If you have a 9-foot leader, you're going to have to strip some of that leader in just to make a cast. So you're going to be using this short little leader. I got a stockpile of fluorocarbon and mono. I was given it by, who was that, my uncle or by grandpa or someone. Anyway, I got a stockpile of that, so I use a leader system. It's a compound leader, so that means it has knots in it. I nail knot my 40-pound test to my fly line, and I make about a foot and a half of that. And then I do 12-pound test. That's about 2 feet. And then I taper that off to 10-pound test, and that's another 2 feet. So that's about a 5-6 foot leader. You do 2 foot increments. It works really well. Taper's nice. You can always add on the 10-pound test. That's my compound leader system I usually use for bass and carp. Just a really good all-around leader system. You don't have to worry about breaking off too much. You could, if you don't like using that 10-pound stuff, you want to go thinner, you can use 6. I've used 6 before too, and that works well. For you guys that like to go out and buy your $12 leaders, that's fine. Go for it. We saw them at K&K. Come and see me at K&K. I'll say hi. So you could get everything from a 4X to a 1X, and you'll be okay. Again, try to get it. We sell 7-foot Orvis leaders. They just came out. They're awesome. I use them for my trout stuff. No complaints. They're awesome. So, rod setup, I use 8 weight. Excuse me. You can use everything from a 6 to an 8 weight. 6 weight has to be pretty stiff and short. 8 weights and 7 weights, I have two 9-foot rods that I use for my carp, my 7 weight and my 8 weight. So, excuse me, I got the hiccups or something. So they're both 9 foot. That can be kind of a challenge sometimes because you're like, well, trying to get through some of these weeds. It's not easy. Yeah, you do kind of, it's risking breaking a rod tip. So the 6 foot, or the 7 to 8 foot range is ideal for small creeks and stuff like Indian Creek and Mill Creek. The 9 foot stuff is awesome for your lakes because when they got open water, they're going to want to run, and you got to let them run because you can't really stop them too well. They're like a freight train on the end of your line. But I did find with the 9 foot leaders, you have a lot of leverage. So when they're running and they're getting closer to you, excuse me, you can turn them and turn them and turn them. Always turn your fish, guys. Don't let them bully you. Don't let them pull you around because they can do that all day. That's just what they're made for. You just got to keep turning their head, That's eventually going to wear them out. And you're going to be able to land some of your fish. Yeah, when you're beginning, you got about a 40 to 60 ratio against you. So you got about a 40% chance of hookup. If you go with someone experienced, me, or you could, Zach Jansen, he works at K&K, he's out, he's not working right now, he moved. You can call guides, I guide a little bit. If you do want to hire me, just call me, let me know. I'd like to meet you. That way we can kind of figure out what we want to do, what the game plan is. Thanks for that. What else am I missing here? Oh, Polaroids. Guys, use these. You cannot see the carp without them hardly. I've mistakenly said I'm not going to wear them one day, be it cloudy or it was snowy or whatever, and I thought I was going to be able to see. It was going to be fine. No, don't let the weather fool you. Always wear your sunglasses. It also helps when you're trying to look up into the sun or something, just, you don't go blind, basically. In muddy water like Mill Creek and Indian Creek, in the winter, when it rains and all that stuff, it washes sediment and mud and all that stuff, you can still see pretty well. So always wear your sunglasses, guys. Also for a safety thing, no one wants to get a carp hook in their eye. I don't even know what that'd feel like. That would really suck. So, I guess we could talk about reels. Reels, you kind of want a large arbor. So that means it's a bigger reel. So when you crank your reel on, when you're reeling in, that large arbor is going to pick up line fast. So when he's running and you still got loose line around your feet, you can pick up that line really, really quick. That way you don't get tangled or, anything like that. Tangle your feet, and we all know that fly line tangles around your feet no matter what you do. You could wear a stripping basket and it wouldn't matter. It would still get around your feet somehow. We don't know how. So, that's basics of carp. I guess I could go into a little bit of technique here. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Okay, well, I'll have to visualize it since I don't have a cameraman today. So let's say your carp is my finger. So the tip of my finger is the carp head. Tail's over here. And here's the bank. He's facing towards the bank. And you're on the bank, alright? You are going to cast past the carp, alright? I usually do about a 10-foot cast past the carp. And then I drag it along the water, along the surface of the water, so you can see the fly where it's at, not under the water. You might hit the carp and spook him. You're going to drag it on the surface of the water and drop it right in front of the carp. And he's going to go up, and he's going to look at it, and then he's going to eat it, and then he's going to take off that way with your fly because you did a good job. That's called the drag and drop, guys. You can look that up on YouTube. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. He did an excellent job. That's how I learned how to do the drag and drop, guys. That's about my main cast. If I see a carp 20 feet away, you can still do the drag and drop. It's a little bit tougher. 30 feet, you're pushing it. 40 feet, don't even try. You'll spook the fish. If you do it, let me know in the comments below and tell me how you did it, because that's kind of cool. Some people really think carp are really, really spooky. They are. But if you let them sit long enough, when they're eating, don't rush up to the water. Don't see a carp and rush up to him. Let him keep eating. Just slowly move your way around him. I've stalked carp for a half hour trying to get him to eat, and by the time I get to him, and I get a fly right in their face, they're done. They leave. So, carp are tough. Just because you can get a fly right in front of them, just because you do everything right, doesn't mean you're going to do everything right, if you know what I mean. Camouflage, I wear this stuff in the winter. For me it's more sun protection and breeze protection. I haven't really, I know carp don't like seeing my face. I know it's terrible looking, but you can wear camo. It's not going to really increase your chances all that much. A lot of it's stealth. You just got to move in really, really slow. On a blue sky day, like today, you can kind of see all this blue sky over here. I wore gray, kind of maybe like a cloud, or you can wear blue. On a dark day, don't wear. You could probably get away with grays. Don't wear anything bright. So if it's overcast, wear gray. Wear black, maybe a navy blue. On bright days, don't wear black, because they're going to see your shadow. This morning I was trying to stalk a fish. I saw like 3 fish today. It was kind of a bummer. I'm waiting for the water to warm up and I'll go back out, and there'll be a part 2 hopefully. If not, well, that just means I didn't catch anything today. But anyway, the sun was going, right east from west, and I was coming east. I was going west, so the sun was beating off of me, making a shadow on the water. So I actually had to go up and around and start facing the sun so the shadow would be behind me. As soon as the carp see a shadow, they're out of there. Doesn't matter what you do. You could be, You could be flying in the air and they see a shadow, anything, you know. You could be as quiet as a mouse, wouldn't matter. They see a shadow, they're going to get out of there. So don't create shadows. Be really stealthy with carp. Let me know in the comments below if you like this video. Give me some pointers. I'm just starting out, guys. I've been carp fishing for, it's been, what, 4 years now? 4 years, I guess. I landed a couple some really big ones. In the comments below, I might post a picture of some of mine, so you don't think I'm just going crazy. That way, you know, I'm talking about stuff I know. Come see me at K&K if you're out of town. Shout out to you guys in Illinois. I miss you. I used to live there. I hear there's really good carp fishing there. I'm going to come back and see you. Probably take a couple of you guys fishing. Let me know if you guys want any guide service, any tips, any leader suggestions, fly suggestions. Let me know in the comments below. Hey, that rhymed. Have a good day, guys. Hopefully there'll be a part 2.